He is here with E.B. Boatin. Umar Harris speaks for the NDC. E.B. Boatin also speaks for the MPP. So let's get straight into our conversation this morning. Umar,
Alfa.
the jet matter, the minority are raising serious issues and concerns. The decision to buy them, do you think it is a strategic investment or unnecessary use of taxpayers' money? In the next 10 minutes, what's your view about it?
All right.
So let me remind our listeners that we are live on Facebook, so they can join us on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. Okay, we are live on YouTube. Orange 107.9, right? So they can join us and participate in the conversation. Those of you who are listening to us outside of Kumasi, please go on Facebook and YouTube and also get to see exactly how things are panning out in studio. Umar, yes, let's make progress.
All right, Alfa. Let me say salam alaikum to you, and then salam alaikum to every Muslim listening, and Juma Mubarak to every Muslim around. And then let me say a very good morning to Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak, the Interior Minister and my MP for Aswasi constituency. Juma Mubarak to Alhaji Mustafa Yariga, my personal project for the chairmanship, inshallah, when the time cometh. And then let me also express my profound gratitude to our municipal chief executive, Honorable Ben.
Yesterday, I was told Muntake's son graduated.
Yes, from the medical school. And then also let me congratulate him. It's not easy. But then, Alpha, this morning, I'm sure by this time the program is even ongoing. There is this commissioning of some 6-unit block at the Kumasi Academy by the MC for Asokore Mampong, and then some 24-seater laboratory for the school. There are a couple of projects that he has undertaken within this short time, and then I can attest to the fact that our common fund is actually working, because in the space of just few months, now he has delivered 2 AstroTurfs for us. And you know Sakafia, right? You know Sakafia. As we speak, yes, some 6-unit classroom block for them. So the man is actually working faster than we expect. So I'm just praying may Allah continue to guide and protect him so that he'll be able to do more. He has this gelling chemistry with the member of parliament. You know, anytime the MC or the municipal chief executive have a very good collaboration with the MP, it makes or it facilitates development in the community. And then for his humility towards the MP, I'm sure we are going to chalk a lot of success this time around. So let me ask him to keep on going, and we are solidly behind him, inshallah. Alpha, you see, this issue of private jets, you and I know, and the good people of Ghana know that we need it. It's a necessity. And the reason why I'm saying that is it should have even been purchased long ago. But because sometimes when you are unable to navigate yourself through well, that's when you create needless conversation and unnecessary obstructions. Because I believe that maybe let's say the producer for this very program, if maybe the camera has an issue, he has to be able to go to management and tell them the specific problems with the camera and why there is the need for management to see the importance of purchasing a new one to replace the old one. Until he is able to convince management that there is a necessity to procure another one, management will not see the need for it if he is unable to convince them. That is particularly the problem that we had here. You see, when the former defense minister, I heard him, argue on the floor of parliament. And then when the majority leader stood up, and then his argument was, was flat, baseless. Because when he went to parliament at a time when President Akufo-Addo was renting $17,000 per hour, craft to travel all around to go and watch Champions League, Tottenham Hotspur games, we complained. Why? That was what triggered the conversation for us to hit President Akufo-Addo. At a point in time, he was renting, I think, 35,000 euros per hour, and what have you. And it was too much. As at the time, he was telling Ghanaians to tighten their belts because we are not in normal times. So we felt like he was living too much of an opulent life. We saw nurses picketing, we saw DDEP pensioners crying, some of them losing their lives as a result of you telling Ghanaians to hold their belt. Some of their communicators would sit down and thank the pensioners that they sacrificed for this country because of this DDEP, while President Akufo-Addo was traveling with very expensive jet. You remember during that time when they told us the jet had problem, before they took it to diagnosis in France, the president of Liberia was given that same jet to travel with it. So we were asking, come and tell us. Now you are saying that the amount that Ghanaians are quoting, or the minority then was saying that President Akufo-Addo was spending to live a lavish life, it was too much. Come and tell us what is happening to our very own, or the nation's aircraft. An opportunity was given. The minority then did what they had to do. And then when the minister got to the floor of parliament, he was just not open and transparent. So this whole argument borders down on transparency. Tell us that, okay, this is the problem of the aircraft. But he only came to tell us that, oh, the aircraft is not in good shape, and therefore it's not up to standard, and for security reasons, the president could not travel with it. So he was pushed. Tell us, what is the problem? If there is the need for us to think about getting another one, we all jaw and look at how we can go about it. He said he was not going to be open and transparent to the good people of Ghana. So as at that time, if the minority even make a move that we want to procure another one, it wouldn't resonate with Ghanaians. Because why? What is happening to ours? Tell us, if we know that ours is no longer in existence or is not fit for purpose now, then we will all agree that let's procure another one. Because don't forget, the one that we are talking about, the aircraft that we are talking about right now, was procured by ex-president Kufuor. And even when he procured it, he never used it. Because the processes before the aircraft got to this country and be fully operational, by then he had already exited office. And it was Professor Mills and then President Mahama who used it. So if now there is the need, and we are bold, may the soul of the late Defense Minister Omani Boama rest in peace. When he was summoned, just as Nituwood was summoned, he was very emphatic that, look, the arms badly corroded, heavily corroded, dangerously corroded. He told us everything that we need to know. And that was when experts in the aviation center, those who were not even aligned politically, civil society organization, well-meaning Ghanaians, including some well-meaning MPP, realized that, hey, so this is what it is. And I overheard one expert say that all this while he has been advocating that the aircraft the president was using was a flying coffin under President Akufo-Addo. He commented on that. So when President Mahama took office, he never traveled with it because they said it was in France. He was using his brother's aircraft to travel around. And that minority said they will not understand. Meanwhile, you just left office and you told us that that same aircraft you are pushing the president to use is not in good shape. And President Akufo-Addo abandoned it and he was traveling with very expensive ones. Don't forget that it was that time that I think it was minority leader today. Oh, sorry, majority chief whip who pushed. Are you telling us that the aircraft, our own, is not up to the standard of the president? And he said yes, because he didn't have a jacuzzi where the president could bath in it. And it became like a topic in this country that, oh, President Akufo-Addo was not using ours because he didn't have a jacuzzi is where he can shower. See, so they were not transparent with the whole issue. But then when the late Omani Boama told Ghanaians this is the problem, that was when people realized that there was a need for us to get it. Because one of the things that we need to understand is whether it is President Mahama who procures it, whether it is former President Akufo-Addo who procured it, it is not the property of the president. It is the property of the state. If you are exiting office, you can't carry it like a matches box and go along with it. It is not yours. So just as we are talking, at a point in time where former President Kufuor procured it, he never used it, he left it. And when he was leaving, did he carry it along? No! It was for the state. So this, as we are speaking, there are people who are experts in the aviation area. They are saying that looking at the procurement processes involved in procuring these aircraft, they are even sure that by the time we would get it or it will get to this country, President Mahama or the NDC might not even be in power, or the president who even procured it might not be the one to use it, because President Mahama only have just this term. Though some of us are still with the opinion, since the constitution allows for something to be done for him to go again, when the discussion comes up, we shall support it. And since it's constitutional, it's not illegal, we shall support it. And very soon, me, Harris, we are going to organize a serious protest against John Dramani Mahama, because he is building a nation and we believe that he can do more. If the constitution permits him to do the right thing, to continue to serve the good people of Ghana, why is he saying no? We are not disrespecting our party chairman, but we are looking at... Who said no?
Presidential jet is in good
no,
condition.
Chairman has said don't get it.
This conversation about private jet, the presidential travels during President Akufo-Addo's time was Okujuta Blakwa, who is currently the Foreign Affairs Minister. In fact, his role is also critical in determining all of these things. Let's listen to him. What exactly did he say on this matter?
In pristine condition, let me use the word which has become very famous. I still maintain that when our presidential jet is in good condition, in pristine condition, let me use the word which has become very famous. People speak as though I created that word. When our presidential jet is in pristine condition, it is not right to be chartering £18,000, $20,000 an hour charter jet. We come into public office to protect the purse and to do our best to be measured and to be...
So the caveat of his position is that he believed that the jet at the time was in pristine condition, and that it is the reason why he is critical of the decision of the then administration to be hiring private jet. So his position was that the jet could have been put to use. So the question some people are asking is that, at what point did that change? At what point did we realize that now the private jet is not in good condition? Because it's just a matter of about 2-3, it's not long ago.
Alpha,
all of a sudden we are saying...
They told us that the jet was based on national security issues, so they could not disclose. You remember that the same Honorable Samuel Kujutu Ablakwa was the one who even triggered the RTI to find out some of this information, and the RTI said they could not disclose. And the Minister of Defense, who had the duty, or who was duty bound to tell us so that we can all have the true understanding of it, decided not to talk and told us that they were working on it and it will soon be ready. So they could not tell us what was the state of the aircraft. And then for us to also hear that the Ghanaian authority has given the green light for the former president of Liberia to use the jet to travel. Alpha, you and I would attest that if another sovereign nation's president could travel with our jet, then it means definitely the jet was in good shape.
So the question is, at what point did they get to a state where now it's corroded? Because
that is basically
this example you're citing happened around 2023 coming.
Sure.
So just when we had the election
when George was giving the president, that was around 2023.
And we know that the President Akufo-Addo did not really use that jet
at all.
So the President Mahama also was ushered into office, did not also use it
at all.
So at what point did it get to the state where now we say you see, so that's the question people are asking. They are not too sure.
It has been there for I think almost 3 or 4 years, and they were working on it. So when we asked them to come and tell us what was the problem, they could not tell us. But then when the late Oman Ebuama came, he was able to get all the information that we needed to know about the true state of the aircraft. And he made it public. If the MPP was more interested to debunk all that he said about the problems that the aircraft had, they could have also have me.
Yes, I think on that day, Nitiwul disagreed. I recall. What? He said that the jet was... It could
so
be
if
used.
Nitiwul was disagreeing then, but what stopped him? Why was he telling us that he could not tell us anything about the jet? Meanwhile, the jet was not in operation, and he said you could not work with it, and the president could not travel with it.
I'll come back to you.
So you see their double standard.
Let me go to EB. Uh, Ibi Boatin. That's the name, right?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Alpha.
In the next 10 minutes, talk to me about this private jet matter.
Okay. So thank you very much. And let me say a very good morning to our cherished listeners this morning. It sounds very funny how the NDC tend to.
It's interesting this morning you've not
I'm
talked
not.
about your candidate because that's what you usually do.
Oh,
Okay, but you jump straight into it. Maybe that's what
oh
you
no,
want.
because
Maybe at the
tail end,
uh-huh.
I'll speak about my candidate. No, the point is no, because of the discussions ongoing. You know, these NDC guys, when you are dealing with them, you have to be very, very careful and very tactful. Now, I'm zooming straight into the discussion because of the things that he is saying. Even listening to what Okujeto said and still justifying their move to procure new presidential jets and blah, 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 and all that. Now, let's look at the situation. So, as far back 2007, the then President Kufuor decided to procure some presidential jets because at the time he had also done his investigations to know the problems that were, facing the retooling of the presidential jets at the time. So he made that decision to procure new ones. The NDC opposed it in 2007. Now look, they came into office in 2009, and one of their party people, a stalwart who served in the Mills government, Kuku Anyidoho. So he's caught on tape saying that per his experience from 2009 to 2012, he thinks that owing to the circumstances, it was important that President Kufuor decided then to do the procurement of new presidential jets. Do you understand? Now, they stay in office till 2016. And when we came into office in 2017, the discussion about procurement of new presidential jets again came up. And people, especially the NDC, started politicizing it. And we are running a country, and we are supposed to put the health and the safety of these big men in proper, perspective, because you can't just say that a president of the state, the first gentleman of the state, should sit in a faulty aeroplane. What if the plane crashes? What if there is anything that happens untoward? What becomes of the nation? We were here when President Mills died. The nation mourned, and we are planning and doing everything that it doesn't happen again. But these people wanted to put the life of our president in danger at the time. Look at what Okujeto was saying. So many things, chastising Akufo-Addo. When he sat here, he's mentioning some figures. He said $17 million per hour, or
17,000.
17,000.
They said that the crux of the argument then was not the president's decision to hire private jet. If indeed the point was that our jet at the time was not fit for purpose. The argument was, why do you go for such expensive private jet, costing your nation at the time in 2022 when we're dealing with hyperinflation around 54%, when Ghanaians were struggling?
Yes.
The president thought it wise to then be flying in this exorbitant manner. So that was the crux of the argument, wasn't it?
Can I give an example?
Please do.
Okay, so if I'm using my own private car and I buy my fuel, I can get here from Ebuakwa to this place. I can get here in the next maybe 30, 45 minutes, right? Okay. So if I'm doing public transport and I'm doing, coming from Ebuakwa to the same place, and I'm not getting a straight car, what happens? I pay more in getting here. and my time spent on the road becomes even more.
You can pay more
No, I'm
by
coming.
but you can pay more by taking either drop-in or boat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to a car renting company, you say, "Oh, me, I want to go to more. So give me your V8. Let me sit in. How much is it going to cost me? 10, maybe 2,000 or something per hour." That will be looked at and say you are insensitive.
But
because the choice went in.
That's not about insensitivity. It is about safety, because he's the president of Ghana. And so if he's the president of Ghana and he's traveling, do you mind he uses a public transport or he uses one of the commercial airplanes?
He's going for the lowest.
The lowest.
Private jets.
But at the time, maybe there was nothing like
No,
the lowest.
was giving ratings. I mean, there were some which were okay that could have cost us. Can
you make a mention of some?
I will have to search.
You would have to search. So that means that you are not aware. So what we are saying,
I think that he shared it, but of course today.
Who shared it?
He was giving. You recall the time he was leading the
politician is a very dishonest politician.
Really? But you guys couldn't really challenge him. Let me allow you to flow.
Okay, so we didn't challenge him because that's what I'm saying, that we are running a country, and while we run a country in a democratic dispensation, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. But then you don't put the life of the president at risk and say that, oh, the president is leaving and if he's doing this, he's doing that. What was President Mahama doing? He was also being careful because of the things that they said in opposition. That's why he was using the jet of his brother when he came into office. Do you understand? Now, recently, Eko Vincent Asifua also came to talk about the plane that brought the vice president back to the country. How much did it cost us? We are dealing with serious business. We should not be hypocritical about the matters. What we are saying is that the president is the first gentleman of the state. He needs to be protected on every side. The fact that he occupies that big position, it comes with huge cost in protecting him. Look at the number of military that follows him everywhere he goes. Have we talked about how much they are paid in? Their allowance, the fuel that they buy in their vehicles, the V8. Have we talked about all those things? We don't discuss such matters because those people are seriously protected by the Constitution. So if the presidential jet is faulty, you don't expect the president to use the same jet to put his life at risk. Look at what happened recently, the Obuasi incident. We have a whole defense minister dying because of some of these things. Do you understand? So what we are saying is that we should not politicize matters that put the lives of our big men in society at risk. We should protect them. Whether it costs more to protect them, that's what we are supposed to do. Okujeto Ablakwa, would he tell us that he would be comfortable to use the presidential jet now in case the president has given him that opportunity to use it for travels? Will he be comfortable to use it? He will be thinking about his health. He will be thinking about his safety. And he will come back to say that, oh, this jet is faulty. But he expected Akufo-Addo to use it because Akufo-Addo is not a human being. What we are saying is that while we run a country, sometimes some of the issues, you can do politics with it. But you can't do politics with the safety of our first gentleman of the state or even the ministers of state, even MPs. They don't put their lives at risk like that. Do you understand? So even you, if you are told that maybe Africa World Airline, you have booked a flight to Accra and you are told that that plane is faulty, would you board it? You never. It's because you are putting your safety in good hands. Okay. Because you don't want to also die at a very young age. Now, looking at this man,
please wrap up on that.
I should wrap up on this. You said you gave me 10 minutes, and I don't think it's 10 minutes.
Oh, you started at 21.
Oh, 21.
Yes, 9:21.
Oh, really?
It's now
okay.
22.
Okay, so what I
added a bit of it.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that the NDC do not have any proper justification to their decision today, and so they should spare us and give us a break on the matters and eat humble pie. Thank you.
So that's E.B. Boatin, 33 minutes after 9. Folks, we have, I think we cannot deal with the third matter. So let's deal with, okay, maybe I'll give you the choice to pick whichever one you want to deal with. The issue of NIMOS, whether or not we need to review their operations. In fact, I've heard from the Minister for Land and Natural Resources making the point that there's the need for their operations to be reviewed. And also, if you have any rebuttals, Harris.
Well, Alpha, I will not.
In the next 7 minutes.
I will not say much on that, but I think from the way my brother spoke, listeners can strike a dichotomy between someone who is saying something that Ghanaians want to hear and someone who is trying to defend a political party. In his admission, he said there is no need for us to politicize this tone. It was about safety. It was about it. You did not think about the safety of those who were picketing, those that you told them that Ghana was at a crossroad. Ghana was this. Ghana was that. So please, let's stop some of these things. If you agree that we must not politicize it, we must do it because of the interest of the state, then I don't think calling names and saying Ablakwa is somebody who is dishonest. Ablakwa's crusade was well welcomed. It's part of the reason why a session of well-meaning MPPs even decided that President Akufo-Addo had to go. You understand?
It is not them.
Oh, it's part of
it's the constitution.
No, it's part of the reason
you
why.
Can say they lost,
the
but
MPP,
not.
Let me say the MPP had to go.
Great.
Let me put it that way.
That's fine.
So so understand it that way. But I think no safety. While you still think about safety, it doesn't underscore the fact that you also need to have to be very cost effective and be sensitive to the plight of the very peoples whose taxpayers' money you are using. Because I'm sure all this issue of security you are talking about, I don't think if today President Akufo-Addo want to travel outside this country, he would be on his own budget to travel with those kind of luxurious aircraft that he was traveling with the taxpayers' money. Let's be honest. And then Alpha, reviewing the operations of NIMOS, I think is very critical because it is obvious that now the Galamseyers seeing the fierce fight that the government has waged against them. People believe in that. People will do everything for money. So
it's becoming scary for the NIMOS task force.
It's becoming scary, and that's basically the reason why they have to also re-strategize, map up a very solid and robust strategy. Because most of the accidents that they are getting involved in, it has been widely speculated, though any of such accidents is yet to be investigated, and then for us to understand what actually happened. But then it has been widely perceived that it is orchestrated by some of these illegal miners so that they will strike fears into the hearts of those who are legally bounded to ensure that we fight this menace of Galamsey. I believe the pledge says through the blood and toils of our fathers. So they did some. And then if we have said that we want to fight this thing, we should never think for a second that it's going to come on a silver platter. We will make some sacrifices and then we would have to go through a lot. But at the end of the day, I strongly believe that they will see light at the end of the tunnel and we shall succeed in doing that.
Do you think the government has underestimated the fight?
I think.
And that realities are beginning to dawn on them.
The government never underestimated the fight. Just that when you look at, fighting this whole menace of Galamsey also comes with cost.
Yeah.
Understand? When you look at the number of even blue water gas that were recruited to protect them, look at the areas where mining activities go on. Can those numbers be adequate? So that is why I was very happy when I saw in the budget at least some 150 million or something has been allocated to help NIMOS to help with their operation. So I'm sure that it's time for NIMOS to also, the government to also work on recruiting more hands on deck, because the people that they are against are not just mere people, they are people who are well organized, and then they should understand. For me, I am not against mining. I'm against the illegality aspect of it. And then they also have to understand that the government is not after them because the government want to starve them to death or the government don't want them to improve. But the government want them to do responsible mining. It shouldn't be too much for us to
The accusation has been that the people who are more or less the kingpins currently, who are in various mining sites, are the NDC bigwigs. And that this Obuasi thing that happened, if you read the story further, according to the information that were revealed by the journalist, they mentioned some NDC executives who have besieged a particular concession, which has now become a subject of these NIMO's visitations, etc. So something that, just like when you were in opposition, you blamed the MPP for allowing their people to, of course, mine illegally. After you assumed office, your supporters felt it is also now our time to take advantage. So you have a lot of them in these communities, backed by some bigwigs, some executives, some whoever. And so that makes it very difficult to fight it, because you are more or less fighting your own people.
Alpha, then we should credit the government for fighting his own people. Because in the previous administration, we never saw any commitment. In fact, the government was actually emboldening and empowering his people to do it. And that's basically the reason why the sitting president who promised.
But in the first year of the then government, he banned mining for 2 years, almost 2 years, you recall.
When his own minister in charge of natural resources has accused
in terms of first impression,
good.
In the first year of the then government, okay, they banned mining.
Alpha,
for close to
this guy,
2 years.
That's
much more
substantial
than whatever we've seen.
After that time that they were claiming they put ban on mining, we heard the president of the Small Scale Miners Association, I think something Pepra, he came out and said that even those who had the legitimate mining license to mine, when the government placed a ban, they were driven away from their concession for 40 people to take full charge, and they were mining. The president of Small Scale Miners came out to make this revelation on Oyerepa. So it was more or less like they drove away others to make way for their people to do. Don't forget the report by Professor Frimpong Boateng said this, that even the presidency, as at the time they were saying they putting ban on mining, they were heavily involved. And it was at the Jubilee House and the President Akufo-Addo's Jubilee House that they were importing Chinese, like Indomie, for them to come and then go into those sites to do sales for them and be giving them money, proceed, just like you bought a trotro and you give to a driver and a mate for them to do sales for you. That was what the MPP was doing. And it was Professor Frimpong Boateng who made this revelation. And after that, President Akufo-Addo said, thank you, I'll not work with anything that you've brought. I'll not work with the report. And then he sacked him. So if the government today, what I know is, Mr. Yamin, Honorable Yamin, was alleged and he's facing it. Abanga was alleged, he's facing it. The sitting member of parliament for Esutifi, is it Esutifi South or something? They are just
I think it is.
He's facing
North
it.
also, yeah.
He's facing it. So this is a government that even when his people are alleged to be involved in, there is no mercy. And that's the reason why some of the NDCs will be crying. Because the government is not picking and choosing. It's not discriminating against because you are NDC or we are MPP. Because I'm very happy. The last time, one of the MPs was telling me, he's a cabinet minister, that President Mahama told them at cabinet that, look, no one is too big to fall. The last time you heard his, pronouncements when he met the press and what the Catholic whatever, he said, who will be tied any of his appointee to give him or to lead to his government seeing or suffering its first scandal. He will use you as a scapegoat. So this is a man who has done everything. He just wants to put the country on a path of prosperity. Okay. And he wants to leave a legacy. So he is not picking and choosing. So the fight, just as you said, we are fighting our people. And let me tell you on authority, Alpha, if as I sit here, even if you are my beloved leader and you are fingered in anything that has got to do with Galamsey, I, Harris, would even be the one to use the little platform that I have to advocate for you to be dealt with equally. So let me go
to Ibi. Ibi, NIMO's illegal mining and all the issues.
Okay, so will we do the third one, or would you want me to speak to that? I would want to talk about all of them.
You can add them to your.
Okay, so
add it. Sorry.
You see the way my brother has been fumbling from start. Yes, he's been fumbling because the issues are too hard for him to defend.
I should have come to you first. I made a mistake.
You made a
No,
mistake.
that's the structure of the show. He starts and then, but
Yeah.
so he will have to forgive me this morning.
Oh, that's okay.
But I'll give him some 2 minutes.
But
while
all
he
I'm
finishes.
saying is that he's finding it difficult defending the issues.
Okay.
Now see, the issue about Galamsey. I've told you before that the NDC, they are in the forest now. They are doing illegal mining. Yesterday I was around. There's this village there is this village inside Ahafwano Southwest, the Mankranso area. They call a place Esuoko, coming there from that angle through to town. And if you go and you look at the way illegal mining has destroyed lands and water bodies there in those areas, you will even be marveled. Now, the president in opposition, together with some of his current cabinet ministers, said that the then government should declare a state of emergency, right? The last time I told you.
President, I did not hear him say that.
You did not hear him say, but it represented
Yeah,
the position of their party.
I heard some of their MPs then say,
Please.
who are currently ministers.
Including
the lands and natural resources.
And it represented the position of their party, isn't it? So if
you can infer, but I'm
can't
sure
infer.
technically some people will disagree, but you make your point.
if you disagree, then it will be that in our government, there are some pronouncements some people in our government also made that you cannot make reference to them to make a case. What we are saying is that if in opposition you pushed that we should declare a state of emergency, and you've come into office 11 months now, you've not been able to declare a state of emergency, then what are you? You are not being fair to the discussion, because you said that the narrative you put out there is that the MPP and their people are doing galamsey, look at Chema, to me a whole lot of things. We understand, we agree. That's why we were booted out. You've come in. Since you came in up until today, the only thing you can talk about is that you have instituted NIMOS, task force, which I've already told you that there is no difference between NIMOS and Operation Vanguard. It's just a change of name. What has been the operation so far? Look at them going to Obuasi and one of them gets, they get accident and one of them dies. Like, what's the point? The same discussion, you have two cabinet ministers and some other 6 people going to Obuasi to launch an initiative to combat illegal mining. And they,
Obuasi, I don't know what is there.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
recorded
even
a lot
understand.
of deaths.
Yeah. So the NDC are simply not being fair to the discussion. What we are saying is that we agree we didn't do well in government, and that's why we've come home. You are now in office. You should have no justification to the things that are going on now. You should be able to crack the whip. Do you understand? What is the use of some of their MMDCs are in the forest today doing illegal mining? Do you understand?
Do you know any of them?
Oh, in my constituency, even
Which
in my
constituency
constituency,
is that?
it is alleged that this man, Okumkom, Wisdom
Who's
Osebuama,
Okumkom?
he is the MC in for my constituency now.
We don't know that for a fact.
No, you don't know that for a fact.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying as an institution.
you've not seen the press conference?
No, relax. As an institution, we do not know that as a fact. So
That's
we
okay.
distance ourselves
You
from
can
that
disclaim. You
allegation.
can disclaim and disassociate yourself from it. But I'm saying that their own people are caught on tape doing a press conference and alleging that the president should investigate, and because that's what the MC is doing. He is a very good friend of mine. But let's be fair to the discussion. Do you understand? What I'm saying is that the NDC should not have any justification to say that they cannot fight illegal mining. I've told you that this issue is not to be politicized. There are some people who are in the villages, they don't see the need to go to school because after all, they think that when you are done with school, it's still money you are coming to look for. So if I can go for galamsey today and get maybe 2,000 cedis in a week. I do not need anybody to employ me to pay me 3,000 cedis a month. So it's not about the politics. It's about we psyching the people, sensitizing them for them to understand that this is not the way to go because it has serious health implications on us. So this is the way we should do it. I hope you are getting my point. That's why I'm saying the NDC should be fair to the discussion. Now, to the issue of the people who protested in Swami yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Me, it was yesterday.
Okay. So the government of the time, the MPP government in 2022 launched and cut short for the construction of that 4-tier overpass. Now, funding was made available for that to happen. Now we don't see any progress so far since NDC assumed office. I don't know what they are doing, but Gavin Sabo just said in March that the government's big push, that money is going to be used in constructing roads in our country, especially he mentioned Swami. So what has been the progress so far? The project has been stalled for some time. Other than that, the people wouldn't have come to protest about the dust that are, destroying their businesses and all of those things. So the NDC should not have any justification to anything, because we think that you castigated our efforts when we were in office. You said that you were better managers of the economy than us. Ghanaians understood and they voted for you. You've come into office. You should be doing the things that you said in opposition. You budgeted 13.9 billion for big push in your first budget. Now you have budgeted, is it 30.8 billion dollars, right? Or 30 point? Let me check the figure.
Yeah, it's around 30 point something.
No, so this year it was 13.9 billion Ghana cedis, and that for next year is 30.8 billion.
Yeah.
So what has been what can they show for this budgetary allocations? What can they show? I don't know what they can show for. If you talk about the initiatives of Nkukwan Kitengete Ejumera project and all, how many people have benefited from this initiative? Okay. How many people?
Okay, wrap up in the 30 seconds and then I'll give Harry some 2 minutes.
Okay, so
and then I'll give you one.
You give me one. Okay, I'll use that 1 minute to talk about my best
Harris,
candidate. Thank you.
No, I use your 1 minute right now so that you chop the last. Chop, if not, I've not
because they are in power or something.
Oh no, if you follow the structure of the show, when I start with him,
okay,
for the first topic,
yeah,
I start with the other person so that it balances.
Okay,
but this morning I failed to do that. So
okay, so let me make a very profound and humble appeal to our party people that in January 31st, 2026, we go to the polls to elect someone to unite our party. At this point in our party's history, and looking at the circumstances that led to our defeat in the 2024 general elections, we have done a post-mortem, we have done our research, and we think that what caused our loss was mainly our division and the fact that we were not united in love. And so looking at both sides, like I've said before, that between the Ken team and the Baumia team, there is too much tension. We agree. So we are bringing a Joshua in the name of Dr. Brian Yao Echampong. The Bible said that when John the Baptist was baptized Jesus, the heavens opened and the heavens said, "This is my beloved son. Please listen to him." So Dr. Brian Echampong is the beloved son, the savior who is coming to save the New Patriotic Party. And so our party people should rally behind him give him the nod in January so that we can move in love and capture power in 2028. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Harris, 2 minutes.
He shouldn't have quoted any Bible verse because Ghanaians now fear it when any MPP person quotes Bible verse, especially when he also has some white dress. So he should be mindful of that. Alpha, you see, all these issues that we are talking about, and then you see them, you hear them saying, oh, NDC should do this, NDC has not done that. Please, let's be mindful. The period or the time Ghanaians give us is 4 years. And we are barely 11 months. So sometimes when you are making your argument, you should situate it right. The way you are saying this and that, and we are failed in this, we are failed in that, just in 10 months. Ghanaians did not conclude President Akufo-Addo was a failure or the MPP was a failure in 10 months. They concluded after 8 solid years. So at least if you will not even be fair to us and the prudent leadership and the management of this country that we are doing, at least allow us to get to maybe, let's say, second term, third term, second year in office or third year in office. Then that time you have a true reflection. By that time, most of these policies that we have activated will start what? I mean, being felt by the good people of Ghana. So sometimes let's do that, and then I think we'll be fair to the discussions that we'll be having. So Alpha, let me thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and also wish every listener Juma Mubarak Khair, inshallah.
Thank you very much. And that's Umar Harris. He is a member of the NDC's communications team. You heard from E.B. Boatin. He said we should make Brian, or the MPP, should make Brian their next presidential candidate, because according to him, he's the Joshua of their party. So thank you very much.
Thank you
E.B. Boatin for coming through. Mark was the one who ensured that we were streaming live on Facebook. This morning, I was a lone ranger. My lady has left me to go and attend to some very important matter. I am referring to Rodelin. But my name has been Alfa Ali. Have a very, very good morning. God willing, next week, Monday, catch us live on 107.9 as we bring to you the Orange Sunrise. Have a very good morning.
I'll be to them, right? All right.